Broadcasting live from the ILTV studios located here at University Drive. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor, and I welcome each and every one of you to Freedom March. Today, however, is Monday, the 8th day of January 2024. There is at least 8 murders in the first 8 days of the year. So we will talk about some of these murders as we look at a statement which is issued by opposition leader Michael Pintard about the need for authorities to meet with the gang leader. I'm going to tell you more dangers about this suggestion, and I will tell you how his suggestion has been tried out and what happened as a result of it being tried out. In our courts today, a young man accused of murdering his gay dad.
Oh, hi! She's back, bitch. She was on.
A young man who was accused of killing his gay father in the front of his gay father's boyfriend. He was arraigned in our courts today. It is a story that the Negro media and the LGBTQIA is hiding from you. But I thought I'll tell it to you in view of the fact that it's a fact. And these crimes has many tones. There are a lot of crimes that are sexually orientated. So as best as I can, I shall attempt to explain it to you. So there are some of the things on my mind as we look at the murders that are taking place and the need to hang murderers. It is the only answer. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Your Majesty, when will your government start hanging? I'll be right back after the break. Too much murders in the country. Only hanging will reduce it. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and I'm certain by now you would have heard news coming from the Ministry of Health that there is an increase in COVID-19. It appears that thousands of Bahamians left the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and traveled to the United States of America, where there's been a major infection taking place. Well, if you travel to the United States, well, what do you expect to happen? They have traveled to the United States and they have brought the variant here. So we now have one case of a citizen dying on the island of Grand Bahama. And there are at least 2 cases of which 2 people are in hospital at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The Minister of Health, that's Dr. Michael Dowell, tells us that there is no need to be alarmed, that the Ministry of Health is on top of it. But my instinct tells me that there is something to be alarmed of. Whenever you hear that there is a disease and it begins to kill people, it calls for some strong action. And so today, I am going to make some suggestion to you, independent of the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I am now going to advise Bahamians to become alert, to start wearing your masks. When you go to the food store, you are to maintain social distancing. You are to wear your mask. You are to sanitize. Whatever food store or business place that you attend, demand from management the various hand sanitizer, because this is serious, what is taking place, and it is you who must protect yourself. So you need masks. Take it from me. You need your mask. Get masks. Put on your mask. And whenever you're going to an area where there are a lot of people, you have to be on guard. If you do not accept my advice, you're going to see COVID spread here in the Bahamas like it has never spread before. So it is very important to take this matter very seriously. Remember what the government has told you. There is one case of a man dying. So once you see that, other people can be infected and also die. So for heaven's sake, be proactive. Sanitize, wear masks, social distancing. And for those people who are in the tourism industry, it is perhaps timely if you put on your mask, taking into consideration that there's a major infection reportedly in the United States. So I'm beginning to feel strange. So I've been doing some things to make sure I don't have COVID. And particularly in view of the fact that my spiritual advisor has never been vaccinated, which means
it doesn't mean anything.
If I have COVID, he can possibly catch it because he has not been vaccinated.
Yeah, vaccination doesn't guarantee anything, Sandra. You know.
And
that.
he teaches us that vaccination does not guarantee anything.
No.
But I'm going to protect him, okay? My spiritual advisor.
So, motherfucker, I bought a mask here myself as well. I just can't seem to find where I put my mask. Sandra, you're going to have to keep that coughing to yourself now.
Well,
please. Mr. Belusa, I'm sorry to do this on national TV. Forgive me.
If you don't have any mask, my spiritual advisor, I bought many packs.
Don't worry, I have my mask.
That is not a good mask.
Oh, and it popped.
I told you it's not a good mask. It's amazing. You want a mask?
Huh? What kind of mask is this?
So this is what is going on in the country. Where we have to protect ourselves.
This is powerful.
We on lockdown, just like before, Every other weekend, lockdown some more, Freedom March, Rodney Monker, about to do his thing and address the country concerns. Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
This is powerful.
Lockdown, baby, with Rodney Monker. Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
This is powerful.
Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
COVID-2 is not a new word. In the mainland, there's been a research. We have to lock the country down. Tourism is important, but not now. Problems in America. Keep the tourists out of town. Keep the hotels locked down. Cause COVID-19 don't mess around.
Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
This is powerful. This is powerful.
We on lockdown, just like before, Every other weekend, lockdown some more, Freedom March, Rodney Monker, about to do his thing and address the country concerns. Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
This is powerful.
Lockdown, baby, with Rodney Monker. Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
This is powerful.
Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
now. Problems in America. Keep the tourists out of town. Keep the hotels locked down. Cause COVID-19 don't mess around.
Lockdown, baby, lockdown, baby.
This is powerful.
Lockdown, baby, with Rodney Monker. Lockdown, baby,
This is powerful.
lockdown, baby.
Tanya, don't you know it's lockdown time? Get out of here. Booyaka!
This is powerful. So, folks, welcome back to Freedom March. And as you are aware, we are reporting that COVID is on the rise here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. There are at least one death on the island of Grand Bahama. And it is so important for people to begin to start sanitizing again, maintaining social distancing, and wearing a mask. Okay? You can't wait to be infected. And let us not forget, there are thousands of Bahamians who did not take the vaccination. So they are more vulnerable. You didn't take the vaccination, you are vulnerable. And that is not to say that those who have taken the vaccination cannot be reinfected, but their chances of survival is greater than the person who was never vaccinated.
Where's the
You
science
may
coming from,
want
man?
to speak to the local clinic in your community, speak to your local doctor with a view of getting further and better particulars as to whether or not you should ask the medical authorities to start revaccination or vaccination of those citizens who did not take the vaccine. Let us not forget, you only die once. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll.
Senator, I don't know where you're getting the science from, right? But for the record, I had COVID in 2020. This is now 2024. I'm not vaccinated. I haven't had COVID since. So where you getting the science from? It does appear as if we want to use science, that those who are vaccinated are more vulnerable to getting COVID the second or the third time. But let the record show, let the record state, and the record is that I had COVID in 2020. This is now 2024. It's 4 years later. I'm not vaccinated, and I haven't had COVID since. See how good God is?
So the record will show that my spiritual advisor was never vaccinated
No.
and has not yet received his COVID. So this is powerful.
No, don't say it that way. Don't say it that way. Don't say it that. But, hold on. Let's pray. Let's pray first.
Yeah, I think you ought to pray.
Man, you always find a way of putting a twist on things the wrong way at all times. Anyhow, let's go ahead and let's pray to Almighty God, especially for the crime that's going on in this country. Let's pray, Santa. Father in heaven, we are just so grateful to you for this day. We thank you so much for blessing us with another new week. We're always grateful to you, Father in heaven, for all of your mercies and your blessings towards us. We thank you so much for your Son, Christ Jesus, who came and died on the cross and shed his blood, not only for our sins, us the Christians, but also for the sins of the whole world. Father in heaven, crime is on the increase in our country, and Father, we pray at this time from the depths of our heart that you will heal and comfort and bless all victims of crime in our country and, of course, the local areas as well. We ask that you protect people from the evil of crime and violence, Father. We pray especially for life-changing conversations between the gangs, and that all the violence will be removed from their hearts, all the evil will be removed from their hearts, Father. Fill them with your goodness and love, Father, that they may cease their evil works, and that our country and our land will be free from the scourge of crime and violence. Father, we also pray for grace to purge all of the evil and the violence from among us, especially in our thoughts, Father, and our actions, Father. Father, we pray that you would help us to deal with our family life, our friendships, our relationships, and our personal contact with others. Help us to do that in the right way, the way that's pleasing to you. I personally commit, Father, to refrain from violent acts of words, to settle conflicts the right way. Father, I further promise to teach others, especially our youth, that violence is not the answer. It's too quick of an answer, as a matter of fact, and that it produces irreparable and long, long life-threatening results, Father. Continue to be with us, Father. Bless us on the show, bless our thoughts, and guide our speech. These favors and blessings we ask in no other name but your Son, Jesus Christ, who is God over all. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank
you so much, Sandro.
My spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is it safe for me to take off my mask?
Yeah, man, take your mask off.
You're
Don't
not
forget
gonna-
now, I'm safer than you are. I have what is called natural immunity.
You have natural...
That beats that chemical or whatever, that vaccine that they give you.
Pfizer.
Yeah. The immunity that I have is better than that.
So I can take off my mask.
You can take it off, yeah.
I can get COVID from you. Right? Okay. You all hear him, eh? you hear what he say? Okay.
I have natural immunity, man.
This is powerful.
You can't beat that.
Well, let's look at a bill quickly, and it's powerful. We're looking at BTC, and BTC is very powerful indeed. BTC fiber internet is now faster, stronger, and more reliable and available in more and more neighborhoods, now in 80% of New Providence and Grand Bahama and climbing. BTC's fiber internet connects you constantly to everything you love at the best price in the Bahamas. Enjoy fiber internet, phone and TV for just $99.99 per swap. Sign up today at btcbahamas.com. BTC is still very powerful. Are you fine?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, well, this is great. And what time do we have, my spiritual advisor?
3.5 minutes in this segment.
Okay, this
You
is
can
great.
touch the subject lightly if you want to.
Which one?
Crime, Sandra. That's
Well,
the
let's
number one
look.
subject.
No, COVID is the number one subject. So, folks, let us now reflect on the new reports that we are receiving from the Ministry of Health that COVID is on the rise. That is a warning signal for each and every one of us to act very responsibly, maintain social distancing, sanitize our hands, clean around our doors, and of course, try to maintain a very sanitary environment. It's very, very important because we now have scientific evidence that at least one person has died from COVID. So we know that COVID can kill. And for those of us who was around from 2019 straight through, we do recall the many citizens who perished as a result of COVID and its major infestation. You still are aware that there were quite a number of citizens, for whatever reason, they refused to be vaccinated. I submit that those are the people who would be most vulnerable. That is not to say that those who took the vaccine cannot be reinfected. But I'm of the opinion that those who were vaccinated, they stand a better chance of survival. So it's very important that you be wise. It's very important that you maintain a safe distance, sanitize, and remember that when you go into the food stores and you purchase fruits and other items, when you return home, you will wash them properly before you eat them. Very, very important. The health ministry say there's nothing to worry about, and I suggest that you should not worry. But it still is very important to take preventative measures. If you take preventative measures, then I believe that things will turn out to be very, very well. Every citizen must watch internationally to see if this began to just get out of control. If we find that around the world it is increasing, then it is our duty to call on the government to lock down the country. It's as simple as that. But let us pray that it does not get out of control. but it is the duty of each and every one of us to monitor it, okay, and be on the alert and be safe. My spiritual advisor.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming to the end, though.
Okay, so we're coming to the end. This is powerful. When we come back, we will look at crime again. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Lord, protect us from the virus. I'm afraid of the virus. We'll be right back after the break. God save the Bahamas. God save the King. Hold on, everybody. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. I'm certain by now the nation has been informed how a 16-year-old teenager, a student of the Aaron Bailey Senior High School, that is the report that I have been given, has been murdered in her home at a period when police are reporting that a Negro gunman or gunmen opened fire on her Nassau Village home, and she regrettably was shot in her head. Well, based on unconfirmed intelligence report that I have received, a man whom the police has been looking for, and he is the man, it is alleged, that the deceased 16-year-old Negro girl mother was harboring at her home, has now been turned over to police, it is alleged, by his attorney. They are the unconfirmed reports that we have been receiving. And of course, we believe that it is correct until such time as someone tells us it's not. So these are very sad stories. About 2 years ago, her father, who's a Gray, he was killed. And of course, the Negro suspect, whom the police is searching for, he's another Gray. So it's not known if she is related to this man by blood. But we do know that the police has been searching for him in the aftermath of another murder. So these are the tragic situations that take place in our country when we as adults encourage people who are wanted by the police and are wanted by gunmen. We do everything to hide them in our homes, and we open up our homes and our children to the potential of being killed. So that is the sad story that has taken place in Nassau Village. So the question now is, we have to encourage parents, we have to encourage family members to discourage, to prevent, to stop, encouraging criminal elements to hide away at their homes, to encourage them to visit their home, because these are some of the things that will happen. Now, you will note that yesterday, the Royal Bahamas Police Force held its annual church ceremony, and it appears that after the service, the Prime Minister spoke with the media, and of course the Prime Minister has expressed shock over this increase in murders and has called for prayer. So we are still faced with this challenge of how do we deal with the issue of crime. Now, you would recall that Michael Pentard has suggested that the politicians should meet with the criminals. One of the problems in our country is a lack of historical memory. Many of you were small, but if I have it correctly, it was 1997 when Pinley invited gang leaders to attend the Progressive Liberal Party convention. Do you remember that? and the F&M went crazy. There they accused Pinley of catering to young Negro gangsters. And by the time the PLP convention was over, the F&M who was in government seized the police on those youthful men who had showed up at the PLP convention. I don't know if Michael Pintard remember Convention 97 of the PLP. So you see, you have to have historic memory. And then you may not remember when the Progressive Liberal Party member of Parliament, Code Smith, also organized a lot of gangsters and introduced them to the body politics. Do you remember that? That created a major controversy. So you see, when I said that Michael was on the wrong track, I had, as a part of my memory, this incident involving Pinley when he invited the gang leaders. I had the incident of Code Smith, who was a former Progressive Liberal Party parliamentarian. I can tell you who the gangsters were that were invited. There were a number of gangs that were invited to the PLP event. One of the gangs lives just across the boundary from where I live. That gang was called the Gun Dog. I remember the Gun Dog. See, the Gun Dog, so you got to watch out for me. And one of the things about the Gun Dog is their gun was bucking. Huh! When I spoke authoritatively because the Gun Dog. Do you know who's the Gun Dog? It was the Gun Dog. All night, as they jump up in the air and tap into one another, the gun was bang. So when I spoke, I knew what I was talking about. So where was Michael when Pinley at a convention called on the various gang leaders to come forward? And Hubert Ingram and the F&M, they carry on crazy. I'm going to leave it alone. Depending on the circumstances, I shall introduce you to some of the other gangs that were called. I mentioned the gang dogs because, as I told you, the gang dogs, the gun dogs, they were living on the northern boundary, and I was on the southern boundary. And in my community, there was no gun dog. Okay? I told the men point blank, hey, I don't like when men buck up. All right? You see, I'm talking in code. That's the gift I have. So I'm going to repeat it to you because I'm not talking to you Negroes. I'm talking to those who graduated from the various gang. Do you remember when the gun dog was bucking up? And every time the gun dog jumped forward, their guns clash and they back up. We leave it like that for the time being. And I'm modifying that shot so as to remind citizens that when you hear me talking strange talk and old talk, behind the talk is facts. My spiritual advisor.
What do you want me to say? Because you're talking in codes. But anyway, it is alleged that there may have been a meeting, I don't know if it's over the weekend or not, between the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Christian Council, and some gang members.
Really?
I don't know how fruitful the meeting was, but at least it is a start.
Okay. So I should see no more murders then.
Well, I'm not saying that.
I'm only asking,
Yeah,
Mr. Spiritual
yeah,
Advisor.
but don't ask
If
those silly questions.
That is not a silly
Yeah,
question.
It is.
If
It's a
I'm
silly
meeting-
question, right? You need.
If I met,
Yeah.
if I met,
It never happens that way. You know.
my spiritual advisor, if I met with a gang, if I met with thugs, if I met with terrorists, armed robbers, rapists, I can't leave the meeting unless I get some concessions. The rapists,
Concessions or confession?
no concessions.
Concessions. Now, what kind of concession are you looking for?
They're gonna have to say to the fellow who rapes, he has to assure me that there's gonna be no more rape, at least for 6 months.
So you're talking about agreements then?
He's gonna have to show me that there's not gonna be any murder. And then he gonna have to demonstrate goodwill by giving me some guns.
No, that's the way you do it.
Yeah, that's the way I would do it.
Well, I guess the police force and the
Tell me what the police force.
the police force and the Christian Council probably had a different approach. You know, they're trying to.
Well,
see
I'd like to know who
how much they
on
can
the
get in.
Christian Council went. You see, you got to watch out for me. I'm 67.
Does it matter who went?
Yes, it matters.
It's the meeting itself and the purpose for the meeting.
It matters who goes.
Why?
Any member of the Christian Council who attends a gang meeting must never have been a gangster.
I don't know if that's correct, Sandra. You know, see, one of the key things that you don't recognize, well, you may have recognized, but you don't understand about Christianity, is that for all those who commit to becoming a Christian, they were not always good people. All right? You have prostitutes becoming Christians. You have murderers becoming Christians. You have fornicators becoming Christians. You have men who keep sweetheart becoming Christians. You have men who commit adultery becoming Christians. And this is why the Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and this is what some of you were. Past tense, you've been washed. So Sandra, when it comes to relating to crime, you know, the one who would really have the great input is the one who we should do it before.
I don't trust Bishop.
But you can't do that,
I don't
Sandra.
trust Bishop.
Yeah.
I don't want him a part of the negotiation.
Which bishop are you talking about now?
The bishop who smuggled drugs.
That's what he used to do, Sandra. But he's repentant of that now. That he used to do those things. And see, that he could relate to the fellow who's smuggling drugs now.
If I used to smuggle drugs, what would be the sign that I repented?
You just stop. You just
No.
stop getting involved in the activity.
I
You
would say,
change your mind,
no,
change
I
your
would
life.
say to the commissioner,
Well,
please,
Sandra, you're something else.
my spiritual advisor, just listen to me.
People who become Christians are always good people, Sandra.
My spiritual advisor,
All of us have a hang-up.
if I confess,
I know your sin, you know.
my spirit, of course you know my sin.
Yeah, you got sins too.
Yes, I do. I've
we
always admitted.
all have sin.
But if I was smuggling drugs and gun running and I found Jesus, I will demonstrate my love for my Jesus by confessing it to the commissioner of police and say, Commissioner, I now find Jesus. But before I found him, you know that 5 pound of cocaine that you picked up the other day? That was my coke.
Wow.
Them gun, Commissioner,
Yeah, okay.
they were my gun. But if I hide that from the commissioner of police,
You're delusional, man.
I know I'm delusional. If I hide that from the commissioner of police, I safe. If I am safe, I will boldly go to the commissioner and say, Commissioner, you know all them sins? That was me. But Jesus saved my soul. I come for you to handcuff me. I don't want Bishop.
Anyhow, but we got to admit it's a start, Sandra. You know,
I don't have no
major
evidence
concern.
that what you said took place. Because that ain't the role of the police. The role of the police is to arrest the rapist, the armed robber.
So the community police department that we have a community policing group. What do you think their job is?
Their job is to prevent and detect.
But they also go into the communities,
Yeah.
right? And they talk with people as
Of
they
course.
go. Yeah. So
And-
chances are,
And as they find that you have committed a crime, they have also prosecute you.
Right, yeah, right.
Right?
So
You want to change
that's-
it?
That's if they find.
Yeah.
But if you're just talking to somebody in general about crime and prevention and all that,
It's not- that's it.
Absolutely. That's,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
but
But it's a
good-
start.
Listen,
you're planting the
they
seed.
promoted 700 of them.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Anyhow, but this weekend was absolutely ridiculous between Thursday and today. And of course, the Prime Minister announced that the Prime Minister's call for the Christian Council of a National Day of Prayer. I don't know when that day is going to be. But yeah, praying is one thing, you know, and praying does have its place. But reality is that the government is just going to have to do some things that may not be popular with the population. And they're going to have to bite the bullet. The criminals, they're pulling the gun. So the government now has to pull the latch and really start hanging people. I mean, it may not be a popular thing, and for some of them, they feel as if they may not be popular with the public if they decide to start hanging. But they're just going to have to bite the bullet and do it because you're going to look at it for the greater good. The country is suffering now because these criminals are just wreaking havoc. They obviously don't care. That last story with the 16-year-old girl tells you how cold these criminals are, right? So if they pull in their trigger, the government got to pull their trigger too, you know. And for most governments, they decide that they don't want to hang because they're scared to lose the popular vote. But I'm going to call on the Prime Minister to be brave. To be brave, man. You got to do what you have to do
The
to protect the people.
girl who was killed,
We understand that her mother may have been harboring some criminal that she could have identified.
is young in comparison to the little boy who was killed off of which road that is, where St. Augustine
The
College
little
is.
boy was killed. Which little boy?
The boy that Frank Watson, the former deputy prime minister nephew, murdered.
I don't remember that one.
I know.
Which street? In Fox Hill, off Bernard Road?
Bernard
is
Road.
that Adley Street or Bernard Road?
Off Bernard Road.
Bernard Road.
Remember the little boy who was doing his schoolwork when Frank Watson, nephew, blasted the house?
I don't remember. What year was that?
It's a couple of years ago.
No, I don't remember.
But you don't remember it, right?
No.
Yeah, he was 12 years old. All right? So,
But I mean, does the age really matter? Or are we looking
well,
at
I
the
was
act?
only dealing with what you said. I was trying to point out to you that there were children younger than that.
Yeah, but I
who
wasn't
had been murdered in their homes.
I wasn't concentrating on the
I understand.
age of the
I understand.
person. You know, I was looking at the act and what went through
All
that
of
person's
the
mind.
acts, yes.
Why he felt that he was justified to kill her, because she could have identified him.
He is
You know, it's
justified.
crazy. It's
in-
cold.
It's because we don't hang murderers.
Right. So
Right.
now we're asking the government that they're going to have to do what is best for the country, even if it costs them the election.
But is it the
country
government?
is the
is
greater
it-
good of the country is
it-
always first and
Is it the
foremost.
government that is permitting
So
the hanging?
who's stopping it?
It is the judiciary.
Aren't they a part of aren't they an arm of the government?
The
a branch of the government?
judiciary. So
Aren't they a branch of the
I
government?
want you to listen to the system. Your court has put that in place,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore you have to challenge the parliament to move the impediment. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Well.
So that is what has happened here.
Now, the young man that was found floating in Porter's Gate, was that an accident? Was it a drowning?
I'm not sure. What have you heard?
So what's the official count as far as the murder is concerned? Because I know they're may. I'm thinking 10. I'm thinking 10. I'm thinking that's what it could be.
I only heard about 8.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe more than that. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But as I look at all the cases, I'm thinking it's probably more than 8. Now, the drowning at Porter's Gate hasn't been classified as yet.
To the best of my knowledge.
Well, I'm saying drowning. The body that was found, it looks like a drowning to me. But how's that classified?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, boy, we are in a crisis.
It is not a great crisis.
Yeah, man, we are in what you call a state of emergency. Sometime they start calling curfew again.
Only for COVID. You see, the Free National Movement,
And not for murders.
the Free National Movement had come up at a party meeting with a strategy to deal with murderers. I didn't like the strategy because it was a gangster strategy.
So the strategy was curfew.
No, it was not curfew.
But you notice when curfews were called, the murder rate was sort of like almost zero and nothing, right?
Yeah.
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 So that's something interesting to think about.
No, I don't think curfew is the solution to
I
this
don't
one.
think so either, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we're in a state of emergency as far as I'm concerned. With these murders, it's completely out of hand. What's going on in the streets? The police has all the information. I think they may be challenged with citizens being forthcoming with information, the pertinent information they may need as far as either retrieving these weapons off the streets or even sometimes getting information on people who are perpetrating these crimes. So what has to happen is now the police needs to think about their relationship with the communities and of course with gang members and with the public. If the relationship has been severed somewhat because of a lack of trust, because I could tell you, there may be maybe one or two rogue officers on the force who are affiliated, well, let me not use that term, who may be familiar or close with certain people. And if you give them information, you're not sure your safety after releasing the information. So that may cost the public not to be forthcoming with information. So the police needs to think about keeping information that people have that could help them solve these crimes, help these people to keep their identity safe, and help to keep them out of harm's way. So they're gonna have to bridge that gap. It's what I really want to get to, because there's a gap because of lack of trust. When I hand this information over, I want to make sure it stays confidential and it's between me and you. That may be the biggest issue with helping to solve crime. Because the first thing people say, boy, you know something? I got some information, boy, my brother. I keep that to myself. Because I ain't passing that on to the police, because I don't know who the police know. And if the police can say, boy, John, don't tell me X, Y, Z, then the next thing, boom, 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 bang. So that's the issue. I spoke with a very senior police officer, and I told him, I said, listen, there must be a gap that exists between the police, criminals, crime, and information. And as a result of that, it takes a while before you can solve things, and maybe that's the reason why we're having all these issues. Information is there, the police can get it, but now when you get it, is it going to remain with you and not be leaked out into the wrong air? Anyhow, that's just my 5 cents on that, Sandra. But it's for some of us to think about. It's killing us, Sandra. A lot of our young men are being falling victim to the guns on the streets. And my main concern is that the police needs to find a way to get the guns off the streets. Listen, do you know that when Pope John Paul visited Cuba, that Castro was able to take every single weapon off the streets for the total visit that Pope John Paul visited Cuba? How was he able to do that? Over 12 million people he had under his control, and he was able to take every single gun off the street. Why we can't get the illegal guns off the streets? There's just somewhat 300, 400,000 odd people. The majority of the people here on the Providence Island. We have over 3 or 4,000 police officers on the force who got all the guns and the law on their side. And we can't seem to find a way to take the guns off the streets, man. Something got to be wrong. And that's why we're in trouble. Anyhow, it is what it is. My 5 cents, Sandra. You look like you're dumbfounded. What's going on?
No, I'm not dumbfounded. I'm allowing you to lead today.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my 5 cents. And that's my major concern. The gun smuggling. We don't even manufacture guns in the Bahamas. Do you know of any company that makes guns here in the Bahamas? Are you aware of any company?
No.
Right. So where are these guns coming from? Where the guns coming from, Senator? Anyhow. Surprised you don't say toot mon ice here.
Don't do that.
See?
Don't do that.
Anyhow, but it is what it is. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate you, man. I'm done.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor. I'm enjoying you today. Wax.
No.
Wax.
No.
My spiritual advisor, Wax.
But you don't agree that some of the things I said make some... Sandra, the reality is this, right? We have law enforcement in this country. We have a good sizable force. We got police and defense force, right? I believe we can do this, right? I mean, the training is different from with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, but I do believe that we have enough officers on the force who could patrol every single hotspot in this island and find out, listen, man, where the latest gun shipment came from. People know. And these people are connected to people. You can find out. It isn't hard. I understand the borders are huge. We got over 100,000 square miles of ocean, and you have a bunch of open places where yachts and ships and all these things come in. But guess what? People know, regardless of where it comes from. People know. And people know other people who know. The police have to know, man. They gotta know. It starts with getting the guns off the streets. When we start doing that and get serious, I think maybe we'll see a reduction in the crime, especially relates to gun-related armed robbery and murder crimes, you know. Anyhow, Sandra, it is what it is. We come to the end of this segment. This is Freedom March.
You heard from the spiritual advisor. Has he offered you an alternative? I don't think so. This is Freedom March.
You gotta hang.
That's the alternative. This is Freedom March. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save King Charles III. We gotta hang. That's it. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and we are hearing reports that a young person has been stabbed in the Meadow Street area and has been taken to hospital. So is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, it's really, this report's coming from the police. They're gonna, I guess, release some details, I guess, very shortly, but there was a stabbing. Some details, well, the details right now are kind of sketchy. You just have to go back and see exactly what is being said. I started to read it, but I couldn't get the full story. But yes, we do have a stabbing that occurred just lately, maybe within the last hour or so. But there we go again. There we go again. It's crime.
Shall we do birthdays now?
Yeah, let's do some birthdays, and of course, and then I want to congratulate. I would like to today congratulate some police officers who were promoted today. I want to congratulate you. But while I'm congratulating you, though, I want you to understand how serious your job is in helping to fight crime. But before we do that, let's get to some birthdays. Go ahead, I'll follow you. All right. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry. Yeah, so we're congratulating, is this a prison officer? Yeah, so we're congratulating him on his, what does he do? Congratulations, Brother Inspector Floyd Francis, on his recent promotion at BDOCS. It's coming from his wife, Inspector Kimberly Francis, his 3 kids, his mother, Cooley Francis, his siblings, nieces, nephews, his aunts, uncles, all the in-laws. We are so proud of you. He's from Barry Island. Barry Island strong. Congratulations, sir, on your promotion at the Bahamas Department of Correction Services. That's Floyd. I think he's now Inspector Floyd Francis. All right. Good, good. And then we want to send a happy belated birthday out to, this is their favorite niece, Lucretia Sands. May God continue to bless and keep you throughout the year and many more to come. Happy birthday to you. It's coming from your aunt, Verna Russell. So happy belated birthday to Lucretia Sands. All right, who we got next, Mr. Bedusa? We want to send a happy birthday shout out to the Leah Bar at B.O.B. Rock Sound in Lutra, the Bank of the Bahamas Rock Sound branch in Lutra. It's coming from her son, Michael, her parents, her Grammy, sibling, special friend, Kenneth, her Rock Sound staff. We love you. Enjoy your special day. Happy birthday to Delia Bar at the BLB Rock Sound branch. Okay, and then twins, I understand. We want to send a very special happy birthday to twin niece and nephew. That's Andrea and Faye Ramin. It's coming from their mom, Future Turnquest, Nana Bernadette, Cargill Gardner, and Florence Ramen, Aunt Michelle Barry, and a host of relatives and friends. So happy birthday to the twins. That's Andrea. Let me see, Phae? Faye? How do you pronounce that? Andrea and Phae Ramen. All right, happy birthday, twins. We have another birthday somewhere, right? Condolences is going to Mr. Monkey. You know this young man?
Who's he?
I don't know, but condolences to the family on the passing of this young man. I don't have his name just yet. We also have a happy birthday going out to Jamal. This was the first one, all the way to the top. Oh, sorry, it's straight there. Let me just send this again to you. We don't want to miss his birthday. His wife sent that birthday greetings to him first thing this morning. There you go. I think it's Jamal McCartney. It's coming from his loving wife, Erin McCartney, his son, Chase McCartney, his father, siblings, and of course, family members and friends send him birthday greetings. So happy birthday. Now that one was in there. I put that in there from. All right, no problem. Yeah. So while you do that, let me just congratulate these police officers who were promoted. 700 police officers were promoted today. We're looking at the Wolford promotions now. Chief Superintendent, the officer in charge, Ezra Maycock. Congratulations to Chief Superintendent Ezra Maycock on his promotion. I understand he's the officer in charge of the Wolford Police Station. And then Superintendent Achara James, he was promoted. Assistant Superintendent Jude Taylor, he was promoted. Superintendent Ricardo Hanna, he was promoted. Inspector Gerard Miller, he was promoted. Inspector Emmanuel Singville, promoted. Corporal 4060 Adrian Outen, promoted. Sergeant 2627 Dominic Sims, promoted. All of them, of course, from the Wolf Road Station. So it does seem as if maybe the entire Wolf Road Station was promoted. Very interesting indeed. Congratulations, Chief Superintendent Ezra Maycock. He's the OC at the Wolf Road Police Station. All right, you had somebody up just now, Mr. McCartney. Yes, happy birthday goes out to Jamal McCartney, coming from his loving wife, also his better half, Erin McCartney, his son, Jace McCartney, his father, siblings, and of course, other family members and friends. Happy birthday to Jamal McCartney. Wow. We're going to do them another time, maybe later on in the show. Any other, Sandra? Tomorrow, okay. All right, back to you.
Well, thank you, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, these are some of the topics that we have been dealing with. And foremost is the issue of crime. Prime Minister Philip Davis has promised that we shall reclaim our streets. So that is a powerful declaration. And I cannot wait to see more boots on the street. I'm kind of compelled to tell the country how the FNM had advocated a death squad. You would recall that I told you that Michael Pintard is not aware of the history of the party. Today, I don't think it is fair to name those politicians who had advocated a death squad. A death squad, as proposed by the FNM, would have been a group of well-trained, secret experts who would have identified people in our society that a court did not conclude were guilty of murders, but the authorities recognized that they were. And the idea was to kill them. I objected to that. I thought it was evil. I thought that no man should suffer death unless he was given an opportunity to go on trial and defend his name and his reputation. Remember, I've hinted at it on numerous occasions that Michael Pentard does not know what is going on. I'm being compelled in more recent time to look at that evil meeting where the F&M advocated a death squad. Is a death squad the proper way to restore law and order? I'm of the opinion that it is not. Because when these crimes are committed, I am not present. So I don't know what the facts are. And I would hate to know that we have killed an innocent man who was not given an opportunity to plead his case. I'm going to pray over it and then perhaps introduce you to a number of senior F&Ms who advocated a death squad. Yeah, I think I may do that. But I'm going to pray for it because sometimes these allegations are so heinous, and sometimes it's better to leave it alone. But it comes to my mind in view of the fact that the opposition leader has been advocating something when he is not aware of what his party originally advocated. So let's think about that for the time being, and let us hope that we can come up with good means. We have to encourage parents to be more responsible. How can you encourage a man to hang around your house whom you have good reason to suspect that he has committed murder and that the police is also looking for him? Meanwhile, the friends and the relative of his victim is also searching for him. So you see the problem that we run into, because we don't know what the facts are. And the next thing you know, young people, regrettably, unfortunately, is murdered. So, I don't know. I really don't feel like running on today. So I'm going to be guided and guarded. I think I'm going to let the spiritual advisor open the phone very, very early today. Do you want to open the phone very, very early today, my spiritual advisor?
Yeah, it's okay, it's 5:15. Okay, so we can open the lines so we get some more discussions. Maybe the public could, maybe give some sort of suggestion as to how the government can deal with crime. Don't forget that we're all in this fight together. And we have a lot of bright minds in this country, so when we open up the lines, maybe the public, of course, can communicate with us, and of course, everybody else can hear their suggestion on what they think the government should do to help deal with the scourge of crime. I hear the Prime Minister is warning the criminals that they're coming for you. The Prime Minister has warned all criminals that they're going to be sought out. They're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So criminals, be aware. There's no hiding place in the Bahamas for you when you commit these crimes. The Prime Minister has promised that they're going to come for you. So the line's open, 323-7775 is the number to call, 698-0775 or 698-0776. You can call us. We got about 15 more minutes in this segment, and of course we got 5:30 segment coming in about 15 minutes. So if you want to talk to us today, crime is always the issue. It's been on a lot of people's heart for the last week or so. You can call us. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Well, Mr. Rule,
Yes, sir. How are you?
Mr. Rollo.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, no, I just want to say something. I was sitting down on my porch. I really sure know already, you know. Then the gate man is coming, I boy, stabbing next by right in his head.
Oh, wow.
In his head. And a good thing a lady passed by. She put him in the car. She taking the hospital.
Where did this happen?
On main Yellow Drive. Graham Drive.
Oh, Graham Drive in Yellow. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. When did this happen?
Around, shortly after 3.
After 3. So, you think they're students of A.F. Hadley? Or GHS?
No, government high students.
Oh, government high students.
Yeah, and the other guy said to the guy, run on the highway, run highway, and you should see the big light that they had.
So this happened to Graham Drive West then?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, I almost, you know, in my head, see with government, I come to what's going on in school, you know.
Students, yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah,
Very bad.
why do you think the students are fighting so much in these high schools?
Only the Lord know. Only the Lord know. Some are bringing in the home.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
Some home, I hear them the government is system government. Any government, you bring up your children in your home.
Yeah.
That's where it starts from.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, take care now. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live. Don't forget to turn your radios down now, please, when you call us.
Okay.
Please, don't
Hello?
forget. Yes, you're on.
Okay. Special advice, how you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Oh, right here.
Great.
Mr. Monica, how you doing?
I'm fine, my dear.
Yeah, I have a little problem, Mr. Monica. I want you to see if you can help me.
Okay.
The telco and my phone. I've been calling them for the past 3 weeks now. My phone, my landline in my room isn't working, and the problem in the nighttime, I have the injury to my back. You know me, Mr. Monica, I was injured by a police officer.
Yes.
Okay. And I was calling them repeatedly. After the Saturday, I called the young lady. I write her name down on a piece of paper, but I lost the paper. She hung up on me. Every pension payday I get my money, Mr. Monica, I go and pay my bills. The telco is doing bad. The old lady came to me. He said, only I want living in our house. And she tried to get her phone on, and they refused to come to see her.
Have you thought about going to mall at Marathon?
Yeah, my sister said she was going to take me there tomorrow, God spare life.
Go early.
Yes, sir.
And you tell BTC I say to fix your phone or I'm going to be very unhappy, okay?
Okay, sir.
And you call me
it.
back and let me know what happened.
Okay, I will.
Tell them you're one of the women them, okay?
But they know by now.
This is powerful.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yes, good evening, President Advice. How you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing, sir?
Okay, good evening, Mr. Monica.
Sir.
Yes, sir. I was listening to the talk show. I think the police doing a good job catching the criminals.
Yes.
But I hear you saying that it's the court or the judiciary system. I think they need to change that. Stop giving the murderers bail. You know, they need to change some of these laws. They need to change
Yes.
in order to try to, to solve this problem, because every time when you give them bail, they come out, they do something that's against.
All right.
I agree with you.
You know, when they come out, then somebody let them down, then they get killed. But at least if you keep them locked up and there's no bail, then, at least that you'll preserve their life. And also, I think they need to start hanging.
You're right.
Do something.
Who's your MP?
My MP?
Yes.
That's Dr. Dowell.
You must speak to Dr. Michael Dowell. Tell him you want murderers to be hanged, okay? Take good care.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Welcome to Freedom March, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My intake on this is that we really have to abolish the Privy Council and start hanging these guys. These guys who want to kill, but they don't want to die. And I can guarantee you, today or tomorrow we abolish the Privy Council, and you go to the prison and read about 15 of them the death sentence. and you hang about 15 of them, I can guarantee you the death sentence, what is carrying on in this country will cease. Because everybody want to live. Why you think that is running high when they don't do whatever?
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have, if they don't do that, these guys will continue. And see, it will give them something to think about. You go to the after the prison, and you read about 15 of them, they're death sentence, and hang them. And that's what they're saying, that because the guys them that know they ain't getting hanged, so they ain't worried about going up to Foxhill and sitting on and get fat on you.
Who's your MP? Who's your MP?
Jobet Kobe David.
Go have a talk with Jobet. Tell her you are hanging, okay?
Yes, sir.
And let me know what she say, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
All right.
Hi, Mr. Monka. How you doing? I'm one of the women there.
Woman, behold the leader.
Mr. Monka, I'm calling from the South Beach constituency.
Yes.
I need your cell number to talk to you about something, please.
My number is 801 5760.
Thank you.
801 5760.
I need you to send Barker's Road, the member of Parliament for South Beach, a wake-up call.
Okay.
Prepared that he's sleeping.
Well, I will wake him up.
Well, only you think he's sleeping, eh?
My spiritual advisor, let this woman talk to her leader. I will send a message to him so that he will come see you, okay?
I don't want to see him.
Okay.
So what do you want?
I just want to speak to Mr. Monka.
You call me at about 7. I'll be able to take a call from you that time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hi, good day, Mr. Advisor.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Mr. Roddy Ranka and yourself, how are you?
We're fine, sir.
Great, great. I see everyone advocating for you to start hanging, at least the government to start hanging.
Yes.
But how can we do that when Mr. Roddy Ranka said he can't march no more? His bunions hurting. So he have a foot issue.
You think if I march, they would start hanging?
I mean, it helped the government keep the people motivated.
Okay. I think I'm going to take up your challenge. Do you have my cell number?
No, you just give me it.
Take my number, 801
801
57
57
60.
60.
Call me 8:30 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
And let us agree to sit down and talk and discuss organizing a march.
Sure.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
good.
Because I tell you wanted people to take the man up.
Yes.
And I'm willing to do that for you.
Well, my brother, and you call me. If you call me once and I don't answer, you keep calling until I answer. We shall meet and organize one. How does that sound?
Sure, we shall.
This is powerful.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Caller, you there? All right, let's try the other caller, Mr. Blue. So welcome to Freedom March Caller. Are you there?
Happy New Year, good afternoon.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And further, I think like the Bahamian people, they don't want to hang because they feel like the system for us. But I feel like if we want to start hanging, like we could look at everything, like whoever we want to more, you know something produce, like you all to go to the gap, you know, like you all to go to the gap, you know, and I feel like if the government was to implement some type of CCTV on everybody's house, or
Yes.
we can get these people on camera and everybody can see this food was crime, then I feel like it wouldn't be so much pressure if we were to start hanging.
It's a great idea. We need to put up CCTV all over the place.
Yeah, but I think they implement like say,
I agree with
the
you.
people who would bring in the CCTV, like give us like a deal.
Right.
Everybody up there.
Right.
You know, like it's not I let people know how to open the government, but that's fine.
Yes.
I'll talk to Mr. Monroe because he's responsible for CCTV.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you so much.
It's a brilliant idea. Thank you, my dear.
Let's take this last call before this segment. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead, caller. You there?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First advisor,
You got to go quick.
Mr. Ronnie Mountain.
Sir.
Yeah, this cowboy calling for the business of March with consistency.
All right.
Yeah, the bigger problem thing in this country and thing, we adopting America way. We deal with our country here.
Okay.
See? Do deal with America. Child abuse, discipline.
Yeah.
They say with the discipline is child abuse.
Right.
That's the problem in this country.
Right.
You see what he said? And then Monica,
Yes.
hang. I with you. Hang murderers.
Thank you, my
They
brother.
have no chance. Just hang them. Put them hang, send them to jail.
Yes.
And I'm out.
You're right.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, we coming
Well,
to
the
end
people
segment.
wants hanging. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to march for it. Okay? Y'all want march? Do you want to march? I have corn on my throat. Do you want to march? Let's march. Forward march. We're marching on that rocky Bremer Road. That's what Pindling said. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Bradley.
Yeah, we're at the calling segment. We're going to continue to take calls. 323-7775. It's the number to call, 698-0775 and 698-0776. No doubt, crime has been the number one issue for Bahamians over the last couple of days. So call us so we can continue to discuss crime. And I guess let's help the government solve the crime issue by making suggestions. So we're going to march on the government. We're going to go downtown and protest against the crime in the country. This is good. It's a start. Maybe we can get the air of the government if the masses go downtown, wherever they go, and protests against the crime that's going on in the country, because no doubt citizens at some point, if maybe now, are going to not feel safe in their own country as a result of the scourge and the gun violence in the country. 323-7775, 698-0775, 698-0776. Anybody in the line? Not yet? Okay, Santa, we don't have anybody in the line as yet. But
So you are ready to march?
Santa, you know, we had a couple people call and saying that they, you know, you're supposed to be
So let's look at it.
leading the way to...
How would the government deal with a young man who comes home, discover that his father is gay, and then take a knife and in the presence of his dad's lover, murdered him?
He should be prosecuted.
How would the government have prevented that?
We're not talking about, well, we're looking at
Do you
crime
see what you're
prevention.
doing?
Well, we're looking at crime prevention. What we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we could raise the government to understand the urgency of dealing with crime. Now, you know, you can't control what goes on in the person's mind.
So
And you're not
you
gonna
concede
be- you're not-
then
you're not gonna
that
be there.
The government would not have been able to prevent the son of an alleged gay man from murdering
Yeah,
him.
because crime starts here.
You agree with that?
But there's some things we could do to prevent that.
Give me a suggestion
Just like you say,
as to how that could have been prevented.
Senator, let me ask you a question. When people ask you to march, what do you think they're trying to ask you to do? What is the purpose of marching? Just to raise awareness. To raise awareness about the crime that's going on in the country. We want the government to find a way
Can
to
we
deal with
not-
the criminals.
But you're not prepared to see.
Well, Senator, crime prevention, of course, is paramount in dealing with crime issues. So we have to find ways to prevent crime. Now, of course, you can't tell what's going on in another person's mind.
Okay, that one might be a little too controversial.
Yeah, you can't.
How
It's
would
difficult.
we have prevented the 16-year-old girl, the government, from being murdered if her mother decides that she is going to hide a man who's alleged to have committed murder in her home from two sets of people, law enforcement agents and the gangsters.
The government couldn't prevent it either. That's a decision. But now, the consequences of that decision is going to make others aware that before they make a decision like that.
Are you saying to me
you know what I mean?
that the government could not have prevented
No,
that?
no. She just decided that's something she wanted to do. It's a personal choice. But now, if it becomes a criminal matter, then the government has to move on, prosecuting those who break the law and sending a message.
Who all, under that circumstances, ought to be prosecuted?
Harboring a criminal is an offense, right? Is it not so?
Yes.
Right, so then she has to be charged.
Okay.
And of course, whoever caused the young lady's murder, they're going to be charged as well.
Okay.
Taken before the court.
So you see how complex this matter is?
Right. But
Right.
let me ask you a question. Do you think something is wrong with marching? Do you think?
I love marching. There's nothing wrong with marching. We're now examining whether or not the government would have been able to prevent some of these things.
I don't know if that was what we were looking at. We were looking at just marching on the whole to bring government
Yes, we
the
have
awareness
looked
that
at
the
marching.
society is really fed up with the crime issue, and that they want the government to deal with it.
Now, are we clear what we are asking the government
Yeah,
for?
yeah, we're clear. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello.
Welcome to Freedom March. You're live, caller.
Yes. Spiritual wise. Good evening, spiritual wise. Good evening, my leader.
Hello, my love.
How you doing? You put some good questions to spiritual wise concerning this. Stop it. We are saying, look at the government. What should the government do? But I grew up on an island, and this is what my parents taught me. Charity begins at home, and it ends abroad. We need as parents, as adults, as Bahamians. For too long, we see crime and we turn a blind eye. We saw these children coming up, and you see children acting funny, little children doing things and saying things, and I see adults laugh. These little children who are doing these little funny things now, they're children, but one day they're going to grow up and be adults. And if we don't nip it in the butt when they're young, when they grow up, they're going to be menace to society.
Yeah.
I am a single parent, okay? My daughter, she did an interview with then Minister of National Security, Bernard Nordich, and she came from a single parent, and you know what the talk was? Single parent home gives troublesome children. It's not single parent, it's the training of the parent.
Yes.
My daughter is a police officer. I say to her, you have to deal with people just and fair. And we as parents, we know actually some of these parents know their children do it wrong, and we cloak them. And if you don't tell your child when the house they're wrong, they're going to go to society and they're going to do bigger wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Start at home.
Yeah, you're
Or
right.
in the home. I have one child, and I tell her she don't be in my house 12 o'clock. I lock my door.
And that's
Many
good
nights
time.
she sleep in the wash house. My rules is 12. Your rules is come when you feel like. Well, go
Yeah.
sleep in the wash house. If you want to sleep in the wash, you have your bed, and you don't want to come in. We, as parents, we let our children do too much shenanigans around us
Yep.
and hushing our mouth.
Yep.
Stop it. Train your child, and when they go to after the Prime Minister, can't say what you and one thing you did right. How the Prime Minister tell the son, don't stop your daddy up. It's the love, what he has for his parents in his heart. That love for his daddy should be in his heart, not to murder his daddy in spite
that's
of
true.
what he was doing.
This is true.
But when you get anger and bitterness in you, you have to teach your children love.
Mm-hmm.
Teach them, show them how to love. And we are not doing this in this country, and that's why we in the future don't need to turn to God. God is our survivor. God is the only hope for this country. The Prime
Absolutely.
Minister be there to talk and say whatever. But if God don't step in, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
true.
But I stay spiritual,
You-
Bible. If we could march, I would march down Bay Street.
Yeah, okay.
My parents got 12 children, and never one of us been to the courthouse.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
Which is good.
Never. My daughter is 34. I never had to go to the courthouse. I never had to go to school for her, because I tell a girl, if the teacher called me to school for you, I come in prepared with a bell. And if you're wrong, you can get it right in school.
Wow.
We appreciate you.
Same parents, Christ teachers in school, in my present when my daughter was in school. Christ for their rude children.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay.
That's wrong.
Yeah, you all have a nice
Yes, you
day.
do the
Thank
same
you.
now. We thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you, my love.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Top of the evening, sir.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Malcolm, top of the evening. Happy New Year to both of you.
Yes,
Thank you.
same to you.
My question is to the senator, and I don't want him to be rude and hang up on me. I just want to ask him a question, him being a consultant to the government. He apparently is getting a purse. I would like to know what is it that he's now brought to government or to whom that he answers to say what he thinks or what he knows how best to fight this crime situation. We are now in the what? The 8th day?
8 murders. 8 murders.
And here it is. The streets are bloody. And Mr. Monka, you know, all fun and jokes aside, I'd like to know what is it that you're doing or saying to whom it is that you answer to?
My philosophy is clear. In our society, there is no fear. You have to have a certain level of fear. What is the fear that is lacking? Strong, swift, and certain punishment. So we're dealing with the most important criminal offense on the criminal calendar, and that is murder. There can be no substitution for capital punishment. Our courts, the Privy Council, has prevented us from carrying out hanging. So it means that the government has to move that impediment. So once the government moves that impediment, we will be able to carry out capital punishment.
What is stopping the government from moving the impediment?
Well, there's nothing that is stopping them from moving the impediment.
So we need to get rid of the government then?
So, yeah, we need to blame the government for the crime.
My spiritual
So we need to
advisor,
get rid of the government?
let me answer
That's
the
what
man.
you're saying to me?
No,
How
no, you have to agitate to get the government to
much agitation, Mr. Monka? How much agitation?
Now,
how much
see, you're
agitation
not
do you need?
listening to me now. So it means that you want row. If you want row,
No.
tell me so I can row back. I'm answering you because I thought you asked a wonderful question. There is an impediment. You will find that the PLP nor the FNM has moved to move the impediment. So this isn't a situation where, the PLP wouldn't move it, so the FNM will move it. No!
So now what do you do?
So what has to happen is, through political action, you move against the parliament to move the impediment. It's simple as that.
So should we move both government, PLP and FNM?
Right.
Go to another.
That's what it seems as if we need to do.
Well, ask the spiritual advisor.
Yeah, it seems as if we need to get rid of the PLP and the FNM.
Okay.
Get rid of the two of them and put in a new group of people.
Because
Yeah.
we've been talking over repeatedly, and nobody's listening to us.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's listening.
So in a democracy, you have to continue to agitate, because as it stands now, it's only PLP or FNM. You take it care.
This is out of control.
All right. You take
Thank
it
you so
care.
much, caller. We appreciate you, though.
It's
We
only
appreciate your
PLP or
comment.
FNM. All right.
And that's the problem we have in this country.
Hello. Welcome to Freedom Match.
Yes, good evening, Brother Monka, brother, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year to you, too.
Yeah, no, Brother Monka, I think our problem is you copy everything from the United States of America. You don't try to legalize marijuana, you want to legalize marijuana. Right? But the only thing they're not copying from the U.S. is the Bail Act. They need to go back to the Bail Act and raise that bail, that $2 million or more for each person that commits murder. Okay? They need to go to Parliament. It's a government problem. I don't care what nobody says, because governments are put in there to make laws, to pass laws. So they could run and back around and run around and blame the police. The police doing a good job. as far as catching the people. But the laws in place are old. They need to move those laws. They copy everything from the U.S. The U.S., why they don't copy that? You know, put $1 million or $2 million bail and see if they can find that. And then also, they say the hanging is inhumane. Okay? So the U.S. will stick people with needles or put them in the electric chair. Why don't get some needles and stick them with when they commit murder and get found guilty? Why we don't copy that, Brother Monka?
I hear you.
Or gas them.
I hear you.
Do something with them because, I mean, hanging is out of date. Hanging is out of date, just like the laws is out of date. But we got to do something. We have to do something because in a small country like this, 8 murders for the year, and it ain't, it's what the 7 day in the year.
8 days.
That's too much, man.
Yeah. We agree with you, caller.
That is really too much, and the government is to blame for it. I don't care what nobody says, because they pass laws. And they need to stop it and stop blaming the police.
Yeah.
I thank you for your comments.
Thank you so much, caller. Yeah. 323-7775.
Do you know Michael Foster? Michael Foster is an architect. I'm advised he's responsible for a gym on the sports center. I've been trying to reach him because in the District of New Providence has appeared before me a Negro man who has alleged that he cannot be paid. And as he complained, the only person I can think of who can pay him is Michael Foster. So if any of you know Michael Foster, the architect, please tell him now for the last 2 weeks, I've been calling him, and this man is very, very upset. And it is my hope and prayer that Michael Foster would be kind, he would make contact with me, and if in fact the company that he is associated with that is building that big stadium on the sports center, Michael would use his wonderful influence to see that this poor man is paid. And this will be powerful.
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Good day, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My first time calling, I listen to you very often.
Thank you.
Good evening, Spiritual Advisor, Mr. Manka.
Good evening.
Sir.
The leader of the woman there.
Indeed I am.
Yes. Mr. Manka, your show name, what, Freedom March, right?
Yes, it does.
All right. So, I talk about this. See, you went on the fact that you used to march for the people department who didn't have a voice.
Yes.
So a lot of people came on and you organized the march. They joined you.
That is true.
Spiritual Advisor said, to bring awareness.
Yes.
For the people to know that we still, where is hanging on. And Jackson, like the gentleman saying a while ago,
yeah.
We need to do it because the Bible says.
Are you ready to march?
About it?
Are you ready to march?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm near my own family.
And you can bring people?
Yes.
Now you see, when I go to march now, I need thousands.
Yes. Mr. Martin, you know you can draw the crowd.
Okay.
The woman alone will put the big street over.
Let's march then.
Let's go to scripture verse and
go ahead.
So somebody else get on.
All right.
The Bible says Ecclesiastes 8 verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Yes.
Therefore, the heart of man is in them to do continue to do evil continually.
Absolutely.
So, if we are going to follow the Bible says right now our government is bearing the sword and these that they can't over supposed to carry on.
Absolutely. You got it. Romans chapter 13.
And so if they do what they're supposed to do, whether no more money or they have money every year for the rest of the year, you do what you're supposed to do, and God will order what you do.
Absolutely.
And you do the rest. You let God take care of it. Who might be feel but in your mean, in your mean when you become a robber people and shoot everything people, eh?
That's something, eh? Wow. That's deep.
Ain't in your mean there. So what I'm saying to you, Mr. Monta, Spiritual Advisor, you all continue to be the voice of the people in this country because you have more people in this country who want hanging than the few government who signed something in London, some treaty to say stop the punishment or stop capital punishment.
Yep.
We need that. Until that, follow the word of God. Follow the Bible. I guarantee you, if before that, God will do the rest.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong.
God is the Lord.
Absolutely.
And we expect
Hein.
we keep on showing God.
Hein.
And
Hein.
put out our hopes in government,
Hein.
not a leader. He's
Hein.
gonna go back in God
Hein.
and trust God as His word.
Hein.
And I listened to
Hein.
I close my I listened to a gentleman from Jamaica, a parliamentarian in Jamaica.
Yes.
And he was bringing and enforcing that the death penalty come back. And he said, we need to bring it back until we hang up, until they're dead, dead, dead.
Absolutely, caller. We got you.
I will say it to you one of these days, but I tell you,
Send it to
this is
me.
what we're supposed to do with the country.
Thank you so much,
Thank
caller.
you.
We appreciate your contribution. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live. Excellent call. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live. Caller, you there? Let's try another call, Mr. Dusa. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March, caller.
Good day, Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Senator Manka.
So,
that's a good
I
evening.
rise on a point of correction in this honorable House of Assembly today, Senator.
you may put your correction.
Okay, you said that there's only the FNM and the PLP in this nation, which makes it a two-nation party. But, correction,
Two-party nation.
there is only one party in this nation with two different names, the PLP and the FNM. That's about it. But when it comes to the personnel in those parties, they are all one in the same.
Okay, thank you so much, caller.
So what we have is a one-party nation.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hey, Spiritual Advisor.
Yes, sir.
How you do, Brother Manka?
How much minutes we have?
So,
left? Go ahead, caller.
Manka,
so,
listen to me. This is your brother. I want you to understand the last man I marched with. When I go and sleep, when I wake up that morning, he was in the Senate. Now, what we need to try and do is, you remember when we had the lockdown with the COVID?
yes.
You see how low crime was?
Yeah.
What we need to do is lock down sections of this island.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to lock down the southern and the southwest one weekend.
Okay.
What we can do, we can bottle these criminals in.
Okay.
When they know they can't be in that area, they can come into the East Street area, and they can come right into police hands, and we can bottle them in. We can guide, we can rush them into somewhere. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Where do they live? Where do they live?
Well, I don't know where they live.
So how you gonna bottle them in?
The criminals don't do most of the crime where they live. They do crime over where they live.
Okay.
The man in Nassau Village, he ain't gonna do no crime in Nassau Village, because everybody know him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what we need to try and do is now, we can have a lockdown this weekend in South Beach, Seabreeze, Elizabeth Estate. So you then, them bad boys, you then push them out. You push them out into the Camp Road, the Market Street area, and that's where you block them in. You got to start, you got to do something, because during COVID, crime is low, as low as it can get.
Well, we're gonna test it because COVID is on the rise.
Yeah, well, I mean, sorry to say it like that. I don't have COVID like the spiritual advisor. I had it worse than spiritual advisor.
Really?
But at least we can lock them down and watch how serious crime will drop again.
Okay.
Because they can't do that. Don't forget that during the curfew thing, man, this place was quiet as a lamb.
Thank you so much, caller.
All right, Spiritual.
We appreciate you. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You may be the last call. How you doing?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Great, great. Go ahead.
Happy New Year to you and Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah, same to you.
Happy New
Same
Year.
to you.
Good. I just have 3 points reference to crime. One, we need to eliminate the Privy Council, first and foremost.
Right. Okay, we agree with that.
Simply because they are sitting in England and we are sitting here. We have two different cultures.
Right.
Even though our criminal justice system
Maybe similar.
is based out of the English system.
Mm-hmm.
However, the problem why we will not be ever able to hang or implement the death penalty is because of the procedures that are in place. First and foremost, the Privy Council requires that we have the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst of the worst has not been defined. what we consider to be the worst of the worst for our culture is totally different than what happens maybe in England. So we need to have a clear definition as to what the Bahamian populace deems to be worst of the worst in considering the death penalty at the penalty phase of the trial.
Right.
Second and foremost, we have too many appeals. And when I say that, even if someone is convicted and awarded the death penalty, they now appeal to the Court of Appeal. The fact is that in order for that appeal to be initiated, the death warrant has to be read. If that death warrant isn't read, they have until the death warrant is read for them to initiate an appeal. So what needs to happen is that upon them getting convicted, and if the death penalty is awarded, the death warrant should be read then to make them mandatorily initiate the appeal process. Once that Court of Appeal may uphold the Supreme Court's decision and continue with the death penalty, then the death warrant should be read that same day to allow them to have to initiate their appeal to the Privy Council.
We appreciate that, Carter. You should have called us earlier, making some sense. Call us back tomorrow. Maybe we can finish look at your very, very interesting and strategic points, but we gotta have to close now.
I will spiritual advisor.
All right, thank you so much, the caller. Yeah, good contribution, indeed. Interesting, to say the least. We're at the end of the show, though. So
Well, folks, we thank those of you who have called us. We are very, very happy to hear the opinions. But the show is over. Take good care, everybody. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save King Charles III and the entire royal family. Let there be peace as we prepare to hang the murderers. Do well, everybody. Take good care. Bye-bye.